Why? It makes no
Buyout.
sense whatsoever. Rip the Band-Aid off and just move forward. Let's start thinking about next year. Let's start thinking about the players that we're going to need to bring in. Let's start thinking about the head coaching changes. Let's go ahead and start doing that now. What season are you trying to save at this point? You've lost 4 in a row. There's no season to save. You're 0-3 or 0-2 in the ACC. There's nothing to play for at this point. Honestly, you're not gonna compete for anything at the end of the year. So
Yeah.
why are we keeping Mike Norvell? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BeardZone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos with me, and if you are a football fan in the state of Florida, this is the podcast for you. We cover it all from college to the NFL, Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes, and the Florida State, along with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know the drill. Carlos, both losses last week for us on in both categories, actually. Um, but we talked about it, Carlos. Trap game Friday night, Louisville. Does Miami win? Your biggest concern going into that game was not the defense, was not the run game, was not your stud wide receivers who are like freshmen straight out of college, but it was none other than Carson Beck. And unfortunately, Carson Beck had, I believe, well, he had 4 interceptions. One of them was called back. But not a good game from him. Not a good game from him at all. What do you got?
No, he. I saw glimpses of Cam Ward, and not in the good way, the bad way of him just trying to take the home run shot. And we're watching the game, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, there's a guy wide open right there for 5 yards, and Miami has playmakers, so a 5 yard pass could be a 10, 15 yard gain. But
Mm-hmm.
if they're going to give you that, and that, like, I would think anybody that runs an offense, if they're listening, you take whatever the defense gives you. You don't need big, big plays. And he forced the ball when he wasn't supposed to. And if you take enough of those check down plays and those 5, 10 yarders, the big plays open up. But you know what? Isn't the name of the game to keep the opponent's defense on the field and tire them out? So when you get to the fourth quarter, you can just do whatever you want at that point. And
Mm-hmm.
they didn't do that, man. He took shots that just weren't there. And Louisville was ready for him, and that's what Louisville does. They don't do anything spectacular on defense, but they just force you to make a bad decision. And he did. He did not play like a $4 million quarterback, that's for sure.
No, he didn't, and I do apologize. It was actually 4 counted interceptions there in the stat column. Your run game, man, it got stuffed up, but I mean, how much can you attribute that to the play of Carson Beck? I mean, there were so many times that we saw the Miami Hurricanes in like a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 10. I mean, like these long third down, and that's not where you want your offense to be at. And you're right. There was never, very rarely, unless if it was like a screenplay. You guys ran those screenplays. I felt like the whole second quarter, but it was always trying to take a shot down the field, trying to take a shot down the field. Meanwhile, on the other end, Louisville, Miller Moss, 2 touchdowns, both of them to Chris Bell. That guy's insane. Didn't
Uh,
realize how fast that guy was and how
yeah.
shifty he could be out there in the open space, making guys miss and everything. And then Isaac Brown, man, 7.5 yards per carry, which was surprising against this Miami's front four. So, I mean, the defense was out there more often than not when in this game with Miami. And you could definitely tell there towards the end of the game when they needed some, stops and when they needed to get off the field, they just weren't able to do it, man. They were just so gassed.
Yeah, Miami on offense would shoot themselves in the foot with a stupid penalty here and there, and you just can't do that. And they get the one thing you can't do as a team is give another team confidence, especially when you know you're the better team. No matter what the outcome is of that game, Miami's still the better team.
Yes.
Louisville's just better that night, but to give them the confidence, and you can't do that because once that momentum. But there was times Miami had the momentum shift back their way, and to lose it at the end like that, just It sucks. Tip ball, great play by the Louisville defensive guy to snag that last interception. But it's still another ball that probably shouldn't have been thrown. So he does check it down. And,
Hmm.
I don't feel like they ran the ball enough. I know Louisville was stopping it, but maybe some different things like mixing up how you get the ball to the running back, if it's stretch handoffs or some pitches or something of that nature. So hats off to Louisville, man. You know how I feel about Friday night games. If you're a ranked team, it sucks, man. It's set up for failure. And Miami was bit by it again. They were bit by it last year. They're bit by it this year. So they've got some work to do. Hopefully, it humbles them a little bit and they get back at it. I mean, hey, you've lost one now. You got to run the table.
Yeah, it is now. We have to win out moving forward. Next week they have this Stanford at home again. I feel like every game has been at home with Miami.
Well,
Like, do they have any away games this year? What
they
the heck is going
do.
on?
They do. They played. It is weird. They have a few. Seems like a few extra. With yeah, but they got Florida State. Then SMU's on the road. Virginia Tech, Pitt. So they end the season a lot on the road, but they're definitely winnable games for them. So
Yeah.
Cristobal's got to get it tightened up, and that's always been the thing. And the one thing I hate when teams do this is when you get that momentum back, keep your foot on the gas and keep going. Like, and I think sometimes he throttles it back, like, oh, this is our type of game. No, man, you taking the confidence away from another team is so impactful. Like once you get it, once you've taken it, you just keep, like you say, you just keep putting that knee on them and hold them on the ground. Don't let them up. It's kind of like what your big brother did to you when you were
Yeah.
a little brother, just beat the crap out of you.
Right. Well, and I mean, something that really impressed me with this Louisville was that offensive line, man. I mean, you want to talk about you have Mesdor, you have Ruben Bain on the other side. Only one of they only accounted for one sack total that entire night,
Yeah.
and they really, I mean, for the most part, Moss had pretty good time back there in the pocket, man. He had a clean pocket to throw from for the majority of the night, and then, like I said, almost it was like 7.5 yards a carry for the run game. I mean, that offensive line did a phenomenal job against this Miami's front four, which I think should not be overlooked.
No, and you want to stop edge rushers from rushing. Louisville had the great game plan: run at them. And if you could run at them and you gashed them a little bit, which they did a good job with, especially Ruben. They ran at him quite a bit, but to hold him and get him, where he wasn't able to hold the edge, whether it was with a couple of guys or not. But you run at those guys, that will slow a pass rusher down because now you're that's in your head. Hey, I just gave up 5, I just gave up 7, 8, so that they're coming off the ball is a little bit slower because they're playing that run, and then they start lining up more wide on there, and that's what happened with Ruben. He got caught up in some big gashes, and then he ended up lining out too far out, and you give the tackle at that point a little bit more advantage because you're so far out. But they did a good job on those guys, man. Louisville knew what to do, and then hats off to the coach, man. Like he knew what Miami's strengths were. Instead of running away from them, he just ran at them, and that's what you do.
Yeah. And I mean it worked to perfection for them. I mean
Yeah.
Louisville came into Miami, trap game or not, they went up against the number 2 ranked team in the nation and they made a statement. I mean Louisville made a statement, so good for them. Are they going to be there at the end of the dance? Probably not. This isn't necessarily a team that I see in the CFP when it all is said and done. But hey, you win these types of games. It builds, confidence. It helps with scouting. Win these big time games. It shows that hey, there's some coaching. There's coaches here that know what to do, understand how to utilize the guys that they have on the field, and that can draw more attention to them. Carlos, I want to shift gears now. I mentioned earlier that Miami is playing Stanford. Stanford was FSU's matchup last week, and I'm not going to lie, Carlos. Kickoff was 10:30 our time, and so I watched absolutely zero time of this game because my old ass was in bed by the time that this ball was kicked off. But I was confident. I was just like, at Stanford, We'll go out there, we'll handle business. It'll be a little bit of a morale boost. That's exactly what we need. I wake up, and I believe that I woke up at around like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, ooh, let me check the score of the game. And I looked at it, and I thought I was possibly dreaming. And so I went back to sleep, and then I officially woke up on Sunday morning, and I saw that it was for sure the Stanford beat FSU 20-13. And I went, what the hell happened? I looked at the stat sheet. We doubled their yardage. We won the turnover battle. And I don't know how we ended up on the losing side. Outside of they did win time of possession here. Third down efficiencies, pretty straight down the middle, about,
Oh,
45, 50% there for both teams. But Carlos, not a good time. And then to, add the cherry on top, Mike Norvell will play out the rest of the season. Why? Why? It makes no
buyout.
sense whatsoever. Rip the band aid off and just move forward. Let's start thinking about next year. Let's start thinking about the players that we're going to need to bring in. Let's start thinking about the head coaching changes. Let's go ahead and start doing that now. What season are you trying to save at this point? You've lost 4 in a row. There's no season to save. You're 0-3 or 0-2 in the ACC. There's nothing to play for at this point. Honestly, you're not gonna compete for anything at the end of the year. So
Yeah.
why are we keeping Mike Norvell?
Especially when you just saw Napier from Florida just got released because
Exactly.
they're seeing the same thing. Like this isn't going to get better, and the way the portal works now, you're spending so much money to bring these players in, and if they're just not being developed, then it's hard. It sucks with college football because it's run like the NFL now. You have to have these athletic directors or GMs, and where do you get your money from? And they're not run like they used to be. But at the end of the day, good coaching and fundamental football will win you football games. I mean, Florida State has a chance to win this at the very end, and they can't punch the ball in off the 1 yard line. At the end there, they get stopped short. But that would have been the tie of the game. But I it was because you look at the stat sheet and you're like, oh, Florida State won. I mean, they have almost like you said double the yards. They pass the ball very well, but they do lose Tommy Castellanos at the end there on a dirty hit. He takes a massive
Yeah,
dirty hit
I
on the
did see that.
slide, and that hurt them. I don't know what the outcome changes, but I would have put the probability percentage much higher that they score at the end of that game to tie it up
Yes.
and probably go on and win it because there'll be that shift of momentum. But he takes a huge hit there, gets concussed, and he is out like a light. So that doesn't help their cause any. But yeah, they're gonna stick it out with Norvell. I mean, he's got that one season, man, that one season, and I just don't know how long they're gonna keep him around. Like there is talent there, but what you did, a couple of years ago, is that keep you around? I mean, look what Penn State would did Franklin. They let him go, and he did so much more for Penn State over a decade than Norvell's done for FSU. So
Yeah.
um, maybe they're hoping. Maybe they hope they pull out the win against Florida. We'll have to see. They run the
Yeah, but
table.
that shouldn't keep it. That should not see. Carlos, I got into the wrong business. Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. I should have either been the head coach of the Penn State or I should have been the head coach of Florida State because either way, I'll get paid for not doing a very good job and for getting fired, or I'll be horrible at my job and they still believe in me. So it's a
Yeah,
win-win situation. I don't understand it. If we beat Florida, yes, of course. Does it matter? Here in Florida, it does, for sure. But we should have won against Miami. That was the bigger game, not the Gators. The Gators aren't anything, although we had higher expectations for them, with Lagway and everything going on. But it's not happening. So, what does the win do for FSU if they beat the Gators? Outside of just, for bragging rights at that point, which I'll take it over the Gators. Screw the Gators. But I mean, what does it do for your season? You have Wake Forest next, November 1st after this week's bye week.
and they're
And
four and
this would be the
two.
perfect
Not a
time to
bad
do it.
team.
This would be the
Wake
perfect time to do it on the bye week. Hey, get an interim guy in. let him kind of get a hold of
Yeah.
the locker room, try and have him see what he can do with these players, and then just play out the rest of the season. But no, we're going to stick around with Mike Norvell. We're probably going to lose to Wake Forest, but then we got Clemson. Who knows what that's going to happen? Then we got Virginia Tech, NC State, and then Florida there at the end. Carlos, if we win one or two games, that's a hope and prayer at this point. Looking at the rest of the schedule, that is a hope and prayer.
And they have a head coach. They have an offensive coach with Gus that he was a head coach for UCF. So you're right. If you're going to pull the trigger, give him his 26 million, cut the ties. They've got the money. And then let Gus run it. I mean, the offense is putting up a lot of yards. It's really the defensive side of the ball. That's actually, I don't know what it is, because to give up 20 points in college football is not that big of a deal in my eyes. Like
No,
that's pretty normal. I mean, we're watching Georgia and Alabama, and these guys giving up 30 plus points a game, but they're still winning. It's I'm not sure. It's got to be Norvell. Like I looking at this team on paper, I'm not seeing where the disconnect is. You've got a quarterback that can play. You've got running backs. You got Deuce. The defense is not that bad or little. Like there's a lot of good pieces there, and you have a really good coaching staff. So it's got to be from the top. And there's only one way to find out. Let him go. I feel like they're going to let him go unless he wins out. I have a feeling they're going to let him go. So why prolong it? And then you start your coaching search from there. Whether you give Gus, see if he's going to be the guy. Hey, you can just step in, take it over, see what he does, and if not, you start going out and seeing if like Florida, you start beating on the door of some other teams and like, hey, Lane Kiffin, what do you think about coming to the ACC? So we'll have to see. I'm with you. I don't think it's a good idea to keep him around for the whole season. I get backing your
no,
coach, but not this time.
no. Well, and that's athletic director Michael Alford. He came out on Monday and he said, "Look, we're going to evaluate the football program at the end of the season. What is there to evaluate, Michael? We've lost four in a row. There's nothing more to evaluate. Our season is over. We're entering a bye week. Let's go ahead and let's rip the band-aid off and let's move forward." That's what I have to say. But what the hell do I know? I'm just an idiot behind a microphone, Carlos. So I don't know. But
You're just the
uh
guy who chose that team.
yeah, I did. I chose that team and I will continue to stick by this team because
Oh
I'm
boy,
not no hey, listen, man, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. Let me tell you what, if I know heartbreak, I know heartbreak.
that's
All
true.
right. So um, but speaking of the Bucks and Miami, check us out on Friday. We'll be talking about all things NFL, highlighting both of the Dolphins and the Bucks. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on all of our um, social medias. We're on it all: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. We're on it. We're not on OnlyFans though, so sorry about that. But
Stay tuned. Stay
stay
tuned.
stay tuned. BeardZone After Hours coming soon to a town near you. But anyway, do us a favor, follow us on all of that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next Wednesday.